right. You're still watching the Max Morning Show. This week, Infertility Awareness Week. A week, you to remember one more try, say, one more benya ba, and I say, one more peba. It's a very sensitive, issue. But then, so we will fear, na se wo shena se wo nimobia, or try so obenya ba, and I say, onini kuno try. I think so. You should go on Facebook and share with them because you're there is hope. There are options. Intimately, fear and feel say, all hope is lost. Find the needed help. And that's why we've got Dr. MENYA here with us. He's from Finney Hospital, and he's a gynecologist and an obstetrician. All right, so what about your options? And let's delve a little bit into infertility. What are the options? Can it be reversed? Are there ways to give birth these days without going through the natural process?
Good
morning, welcome back.
Thank you.
Gynecologist.
Sure.
Oh, it's such a lovely job, and you get to see women on a daily basis. I see, we thank God.
It's a calling.
It's a calling, eh? I love that.
You get to see women on a daily basis, but it's more solving problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You get to see men as well.
Do you see men as
we
well?
Do.
More men than women,
We do.
but it's definitely women than man,
Exactly.
more man than.
Exactly.
All right, so let's get into this week, Infertility Awareness Week.
Sure.
For the purpose of WOMA, they do not understand what infertility is. Let's start from there to give some education.
Okay, thank you very much once again for inviting me here, and then a very good morning to our cherished viewers. Infertility is inability of a couple to achieve pregnancy within 12 months or 1 year after frequent sexual intercourse.
Dr. Frequent.
No. Frequent or protected sexual intercourse. Say, obani obematna for 1 year. Normal try so or omobe nyesen. Omobe shema several times. When we say frequent sexual intercourse, we mean 3 to 4 times every week. Yes, still no pregnancy, and they don't use family planning or any protective mechanism to prevent pregnancy. And it's very important. This is a serious public health. It's of serious public health significance,
especially in our part of the world.
Exactly, because it's a leading cause of divorce nowadays among several couples, and then it also affects the self-esteem of individuals. People prevent work, or people don't go to work just because they are not getting pregnant. People don't go to church. They don't want to go to any social gatherings just because they don't have children.
And because people would be asking them.
Exactly. You know our culture. Once you get married, within 3 months, people are expecting that the woman's tummy will be bigger than before. And this pressure from society, in our churches, our social gatherings. Everybody expects the woman should get pregnant. And so this is of serious significance. So we always tend to think that infertility is a problem with the woman not achieving pregnancy. But that should be discouraged. That's why I said nowadays we see a lot of men in our clinic. Exactly, because they should come in with their wives when they are pregnant and when they are not getting pregnant. So the problem of infertility is not just with the woman. Nowadays, we are seeing growing trends of infertility in men because of changing lifestyles. About 40 to 45% of all infertility is coming from the men nowadays.
That is serious. That's huge.
It's serious.
40 to 45.
40 to 45%. It used to be 30% from the men, 30% from the women, and then 30% from both. And then we have 10% unexplained infertility when everything is all right. We do all the tests, everything is all right. Yes, still no pregnancy. But the changing lifestyle of men is leading them into infertility.
But you're talking about changing lifestyle. What are some of the niyama is affecting, causing infertility?
So to understand the causes, especially in men, let's see how a man will, get a woman pregnant. Yes, the brain will send a signal to the testes to start producing sperms. Then the sperms will be stored at a place called epididymis. During sex, the sperms will move from the epididymis, come through the sperm duct to be joined by juices from the prostatic duct and then the cowpers gland. Some to nourish the sperms and others to give the sperms energy. So if the man is not able to get the woman pregnant, one, it could be that the brain is not supplying enough signal to the testes to produce.
Which will be what? Stress?
Which can be from stress. We come to stress.
Okay.
We said that this generation is experiencing stress more than any generation.
Social media stress in Kwampo.
It's not easy, exactly. And because of stress, they tend to pick up a lot of, lifestyles.
Okay.
They need to take in some things which will make them, survive the stress in the system. The use of alcohol and hard drugs, the use of caffeine, high levels of caffeine to sustain the stress, to give them energy throughout the day.
Is that coming from excessive energy drinks near the Adiananas? Okay.
But we won't touch on any caffeinated drink, special drink. But the high amounts, constant intake of these caffeinated or constant intake of coffee. Once you take more than necessary, then now you are exposing yourself.
Exactly. I mean, no coffee every day.
Yeah. But maybe you take 1 or 2 glasses.
Just one,
So that's enough.
That's fine.
But as a woman who takes in a lot of coffee, it will not affect.
That can also affect. High levels of caffeine can affect
a woman
egg production.
Wow.
Yes.
I do one cup though.
One is okay.
Thank you.
1 to 2 cups of coffee
a day.
is okay.
It's just one.
A day.
It's perfect. Yes.
All right.
And
now,
then,
talking about infertility, let's talk about the options that are available these days.
Yeah.
Because now we already know that, it causes a lot of problems. Your friend is saying, it reduces the self-confidence. And now I'm even seeing it more because of the pressure now, nipping to me and all that. What are the types of infertility first before we can move on to, the options that are available for people?
Okay, so we generally have primary and secondary infertility. Primary infertility, that's a couple who have never achieved pregnancy. And then the commonest now is the secondary infertility, that a couple they've achieved 1 pregnancy, 2 pregnancies, and now they can't get pregnant again. Surprising, they will try every means, herbal, other alternative means. Yes, till pregnancy doesn't happen. And that is the common one right now. That's the common one. That's the commonest.
Where you say they've achieved 1 or 2 pregnancy, it means say third one in Emma.
Exactly.
Okay.
Or maybe the man was in a previous relationship and had a child. Now she's in a new relationship with a woman.
Okay.
What might be the causes for that one?
A lot.
What might be the causes for that one?
Okay, so let's say a woman is coming to you around the age of 40 and she can't achieve pregnancy. So age is a serious factor when it comes to conceiving. And I always tell a couple that once you want to get pregnant, a woman, once you want to achieve pregnancy, once you know you want to get pregnant, yes, you don't wait. You don't wait till you are done with your career, till you're a doctor. Now you say, okay, now I want to get pregnant, I want to start a family. By then, you don't have enough eggs. A woman is born with a fixed number of eggs. By the time she's 37 and above, every menses comes with great loss of eggs.
The eggs.
Now you are 37, you are 38, you are 39. You want to achieve pregnancy. You've never been pregnant. It becomes difficult. More so when you are above 40, it becomes difficult for you to get pregnant. And this is seen a lot in the secondary infertility. And especially when they have done a lot of procedures. A woman, maybe when you were very young, you had 1 baby. You had other babies, you didn't want to keep them. You terminated the pregnancy. They did unsafe abortions or unsafe termination of pregnancy with instruments, with, aseptic or with septic procedures, and rendering the womb, giving it a lot of adhesions. Now no baby can stay inside the womb. It becomes difficult. So unsafe abortions are practices which should be prevented. And then the use of these emergency contraceptive pills. Yes, you might not want to get pregnant. I do not say they are not good. But excessive use of emergency contraceptive pills.
Where excessive will be how many times?
More than 1 in a cycle.
in a cycle,
So
as in
within
more
a
than
cycle-
one in a month.
Exactly.
Wow.
So maybe you have sex, let's say 4 or 5 times in a month. The first one you didn't like it, and so you took Post 2, or you took an emergency contraceptive pill. Yeah, the next one, when the weather was cold, you had sex again.
Yeah.
And so you went back to taking an emergency. That is what we should prevent.
Okay.
You can use it once in a cycle.
Okay.
And so if you want to seriously prevent pregnancy, then you need a formal contraceptive method.
Yes.
Rather than sticking to the emergency contraceptive pill, because they eventually can lead to prolonged anovulation, give periods where you might not be able to ovulate. And then when it gets to the point when you want to get pregnant,
Then it's a
becomes
problem. Okay.
difficult.
But normal contraceptives, and so do they not have, tendencies like the injection? Do they not have tendencies of, if you've taken it for a while, also causing that secondary?
Yes, studies have shown that the hormonal contraceptives
Also.
can, especially if they are not taken at the right time.
Yeah.
If the person, you might not know who reacts or who have an ovulation.
Yeah.
But then it can be controlled. You know that this person took this amount, has used the injectable contraceptive maybe for about 6 cycles, so you know. And then you can reverse the anovulation. You can give medication to help the woman ovulate. You understand? Right. But when the woman takes in a lot of ECPs, the emergency contraceptive, you're unable to calculate. You're unable to tell how long the anovulation is going to be, how many eggs the woman would have, and so on and so forth. And it becomes difficult to achieve pregnancy. Yeah.
So the types are the primary and the secondary.
Primary and secondary.
Okay. So the primary is and a secondary ni say bema na wode da oba no so credit or obako, but now to have it is a problem.
And then changing lifestyle from maybe infections. The man develop an infection, an STI especially, or the woman develop an STI, sexually transmitted infection, gonorrhea, chlamydia, trichomonas, syphilis. These ones are common in our society, especially if you're a couple or if you're a man or woman, you do not stick to one partner. And then you have multiple sexual partners who are also having multiple sexual partners.
And these days in the society we are in,
exactly.
It's a terrible one.
Even relationships have become global villages.
We call it's general. Everybody
relationships have become global villages.
So we should be careful.
Careful of that.
We should be mindful of our lifestyles.
All right.
Yes.
Let's move on to
then the options.
Yes,
the options
available.
Yeah. As you rightly said, sometimes you just need to know your menstrual cycle. Simple strategies.
All right.
You just need to know when to have sex. You just need to know that you need to have this amount or this number of sexual intercourse before pregnancy happens. Just that sometimes it's okay. And nowadays there are menstruation trackers all over. You go to Google Play Store and then you download menstruation trackers.
Does it actually work?
Yes. Once you are
does.
not taking any hormonals, you are not introducing so many medications into the system, and you have regular cycles, it's able to track your menses for you.
Wow.
Then you should be concerned, though, if your menses is irregular. So if for 3 months you are not having your cycles, you are not having regular menses, you shouldn't go in for the menstruation tracker. You should seek help from a doctor, because you might not even be ovulating. You might be having a condition we call polycystic ovary syndrome, where you don't release eggs. If you don't release eggs, you can't get pregnant.
All right. Okay. Yeah, can say Finney Hospital Fertility Center number and the whole screen so no. Or more New Botiano Mile 11 Junction. And tina say wo shey na say bia enye wo, but wo nwe bia na say wo adamfo bia, they trying to have a baby, whether primary DNA na say secondary DNA. A primary ni ye obi on woman wo da, secondary ni ye obi a wo ba kon, but to have the second one no aye problem. Yes call doc na omumboa number na whole screen so no. Number ni 0302 950092 and that's 050340 2220. Now, so like I said, you know, in terms of the stigma, that thing is so irritating. Dabena wunechi, dabena ube wunim niente on wunechi, ebi on pempos or be wun akolanechi. Now, so hard. Doc, let's go to the stigma. You deal with you know, people on a daily basis.
Yes.
What are some of the nyama mayeng? But did we finish the options available?
No,
we
I'm
didn't.
sure we'll get to that.
Well, let's actually go to the options available for people, and then we can go to the stigma.
Okay, so as we said, the strategies that you develop, you need to know when to have sex. Well, at first we used to say have sex 3 to 4 times every week. Now it becomes difficult, challenging lifestyle. If you are going to have sex 3 to 4 times every week, you might as well not get time to work. Okay, people will tell you they are tired all the time. But it's good. If you read it really well, you realize that almost every time then you have sperms in the tubes of a woman. The trick is the sperms can live for about 5 days long. The eggs don't last that long. They live as long as just 24 hours. Some live for just as short as 8 hours. So the woman would have just 8 hours chance within the whole month to get pregnant.
Right.
So you should be having sex frequently.
Regularly.
8 hours per day.
No, 8 hours.
In a whole
The
month.
cycle.
The cycle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you see, as we said, the sperms can live longer. So the more you have sex, the sperms will go and wait
Okay.
for that 8 hours period. Given to them. So have sex frequently, yes.
Frequency is one. Okay.
Then we have options nowadays where we can do ovulation induction with medications to release eggs. When the woman cannot release eggs, you give medication to release eggs. And you show her when to have sex.
Okay.
That's timed intercourse. Around the time period the egg will be released.
Okay.
Then we have assisted reproduction technology, which we say IUI, that's intrauterine insemination. People say artificial insemination.
Okay.
Or in vitro fertilization, IVF.
All right.
For IUI, usually you give medication for the woman to release the eggs. When the eggs are just being released, you take the sperms of the man. Okay. You wash the sperms and then you introduce into the woman. Simple, it's natural. People think this is artificial. People think so many things, you know, cultural.
It looks
yes,
like
I know.
But it's purely
It's
natural. Sometimes during the insemination process, when you are introducing the sperms, you ask the man to just press.
So it's like he himself doing it.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Then we have in vitro fertilization, where problems, for instance, like blocked tubes. If the woman's tubes are blocked, there's no way the sperms can meet the egg.
Yeah.
So what we do is fertilization occurs outside. We bring out the woman's eggs. When we've given her medication, her own eggs, we bring them out. Then we take her own husband's sperms, and then mix the sperm and the egg. Then we get babies.
Oh, okay.
And then we incubate the babies for about 3 to 5 days. Some of them will die anyways. So wait, those who are stronger, those who are healthy, we pick them. Maybe you want 3, pick them, put inside the womb.
For real?
Well prepared.
That is the IUI.
That is the IVF.
That's the IVF.
Vitro fertilization. Right. Fertilization occurs outside.
Okay.
IUI fertilization occurs inside the tubes.
But for both you know yeah watching you know it's natural.
Yes.
It's natural. So there's really options available for
on a TV screen. Is that
this is a sperm trying to get in contact with an egg.
With an egg.
Several millions of sperms trying to meet just one egg. Once one egg enters, that's it.
Wow.
So you need just one sperm.
The egg.
But should they move together? And so WHO says we should get about 20 million sperm per male of ejaculate.
Oh, wow.
And then we should have them motile. They should be moving very fast. About 40% of them should be moving very fast. And about 32% should be moving rapidly and in a straight direction. Within 5 minutes after ejaculation, the sperm should have traveled through the entire course, the cervix, the womb, and then the tube, to at least meet the sperm for pregnancy.
As a man, can there be anything wrong with that sperm?
Oh, certainly. And as you said, there's changing lifestyle. They affect the sperm production. Alcohol, tobacco, or nicotine, smoking, hard drugs they affect the motility, the movement of the sperm. They affect the structure, the morphology, the normal structure of the sperms. Yes, and then you're trying to get a woman pregnant, then you want to have sex, and so you soak yourself with large or huge amounts, binge of alcohol. This one gradually affects you. And those exposed to electromagnetic fields, radiations, you work in an X-ray department, you work with a lot of computers, several rooms, you are there 24/7. You're exposing your testes and the sperms to infertility.
Wow. Infertility.
What
You
about
put laptop
on your
bathtub. If you're a man, you always want to bath with hot water, very hot water. You end up killing your sperm.
warm water is okay? Though.
Warm water is okay.
Yeah.
This is new to us. The hot one,
What
the hot
about
water.
those who drive long distance?
Exactly. Those who drive long distance, and especially those who use heavy trucks, they sit. The engines are where they sit.
Beneath
Exactly. So if you travel for a long distance, you end up killing all your sperm.
Yeah.
By the time you go and come one
It's
journey.
a doctor, from what you're saying, you should have 1 or 2 before you start that job.
Exactly. Or as you move, well, then you have some coolants along the way.
To be cooling
or
your
you
seat.
get down and then walk small. Make sure that things are cool before you continue your journey.
It really
Or maybe
does
you get
boil-
2 drivers. One will get to the middle of the journey and another one will
changes.
continue.
It really does boil down to our lifestyle, because the computers na ejuma. Talking about sperms that can go wrong or are not good enough to fertilize. Are there other procedures that it's another sperm that comes to, and how does that fit in our society?
Okay, so when we do semen analysis, one of the investigations we do before we profile or before we give options for treatment to the couple, we see that there are no sperm. There are men who do test, you won't find a single sperm. Well, there are options. You first of all go into the testes to look for the sperm, because they might be blocked. The tract outside the scat might be blocked. So you go into the testes, look for the sperms. You look everywhere and try to go for the sperms. You go to the epididymis, you go to the testes, take testicular tissue and look inside whether you get sperm. If you get sperm, yes, you can store the sperm, you can freeze the sperms under liquid nitrogen and use it for the woman, mostly during IVF procedure. And even that, most of the sperms wouldn't be moving. So you do a procedure called ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection. You take the sperm, one after the other, inject into the egg.
Oh, right.
That's quite expensive, but it's done, and we get quite a number of success. And then when you don't get sperm at all,
a good one at all.
when you don't get sperm at all, then you'll be left, the only option you'll be left with is donor sperm.
All right.
Going for donor sperm. Well, culturally, some might not agree in the first instance, they might not agree, but if they move from clinic to clinic, herbal treatment, and they realize that that is the only option, sometimes they come to terms with the situation. And I don't think there's anything, medically, with going for donor sperm.
All right.
But you have to have a big heart to go for that.
Exactly. Because the women usually go for donor eggs.
My friend's adoption.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you say donor eggs?
Yeah.
So for Banon, so on to me, only eggs are you to me?
That is more common.
Oh, right.
That's common than the
donor sperm. Okay.
But for a woman, and there is also an increasing trend of primary ovarian insufficiency. When a woman is less than 40 years and has entered menopause, a lot of women are getting it now. Yes, apart from genetics, some people are born with it.
Okay.
They get to a certain stage in life, their ovaries come to a standstill. They don't produce eggs ever again. Well, some people too have surgery. One of their ovaries or their ovaries might be tampered with. Maybe you are doing simple fiber surgery and you tamper with the ovary. But there are some group of people who, before the age of 40, would have lost the ability to produce eggs. Those people, you counsel them.
Okay.
Both men and women.
Both men and women. The only way out is that we don't.
But then she carries the baby.
She will carry the baby.
Then it's not bad, and there's still a problem. Because you
no
still
problem.
carry the
But
baby.
genetically, your
It won't be
contribution,
your
exactly.
I get
It
you.
won't be your blood
It
group.
would-
It won't be
yeah.
your anything.
She might,
It might not be.
the child might
but-
look completely different from you.
Yeah, but usually what we do is we
Yeah.
get your semblance. We
All
get someone
right.
who looks exactly like you, or someone might
Is it
even
the
be
one that you have a
Wow.
book with a lot of pictures and all of that?
Yeah, some
Wow.
institutions do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have your own sister.
Yeah.
Those things are quite
Which is
controversial,
quite,
but you can
yeah.
get your own sister and then bring your younger sister, and then we agree to take eggs from all those people.
It means there really are options for us. There really are options.
a lot of
All right, number not sound will screen, so I'm going to put it on your screen right now. But before then, let me ask Doc a few questions. One or more any questions. No, can hernia prevent a man from impregnating a woman? And Obinsa, after abortion, what is the possibility of getting pregnant? And of course, good morning, please. I was pregnant for 9 weeks, and the scan said no embryo in the gestation sac, and later I had miscarriage. Please, is any chances of pregnancy going to be difficult again? Okay. And someone is also saying, hello, good morning. I'm Ruth from Odoko, and I'm enjoying the topic. I'll say, hi, good morning. I have a question to ask about infertility. Well, I take contraceptives more than once in a month, and for a month now, I have not seen my period. What can I do? All right. So these are all questions for Doc.
Yes, where do we start from?
Let's start with the abortion.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so yes, frequent unsafe abortions. There are safe abortions now. Now Ghana has accepted comprehensive abortive care. That means that you can walk into your gynecologist
Yes.
and ask for safe abortion procedures. Some of them will give you just medications to take, and then the baby will come out.
Yeah.
Some of them have their own cultural and religious, beliefs, and so they refer you to a center. We refer to MaxTV.
All right.
MaxTV is a center NGO that does comprehensive abortive care. So you can go. When you go to those places, they do it safely for you,
Yeah.
and those ones are recommended. Than for you
With
to
no
go to
side effects.
with no side effects, or let me say with little or few complications. But if it's recurrent, for instance, if they have to correct, they have to always cleanse the womb, or so to speak, wash the womb for you. Then it's like you are creating sores almost all the time in the womb.
Yeah.
That can lead to adhesions. And when there are adhesions, the tubes can get blocked, and you develop a condition called Asherman syndrome. And embryos or babies cannot survive in the womb. So yes, recurrent abortions. It can even be miscarriages where they wash and complete the womb for you. Can, in a long term, lead to infertility.
All right.
But once
And
it's safely done, the
hernia
risk
one?
is reduced. Yes, hernia. Hernia itself does not cause infertility. The farmers in the villages have several wives and have several children. And they have hernias. They have bilateral hernias. Yes, so they're able to produce. But surgeries from hernias or hernia repairs, sometimes, if not done well, or sometimes there can be complications. Where, as I said, you can injure the tract, the sperm tract. The sperm comes from the testis, epididymis, sperm duct, and comes through the penis. Along the line, it passes through where the hernia ring is. And when you do surgery and you're not careful, you can cut it. So hernia repairs.
Before you proceed, can masturbation also cause infertility?
Masturbation is not known to cause infertility. Masturbation...
Excessive.
Yes,
doesn't.
so the abuse of it... some health experts think that the abuse of it can rather affect erectile functioning.
All right.
Yes, but it doesn't really affect the quality
of
and
the
the
sperm.
amount of sperms. It doesn't.
Let's quickly look. Our time is up, but there's one question about infertility. The one who asked about, she said she had a miscarriage, and
Okay, so
please, what are my
she was 9
chances of-
weeks pregnant.
Yes.
And they said there was no fetal pole in the gestational
Yes.
sac. Will she get pregnant again, or is she going to repeat
Yes.
again? So this really is not infertility. She's been able to get pregnant. Once you are able to get pregnant, you can easily get pregnant again. So she's not really risk. She's not at risk of But yes, she can get blighted ovum again. What the condition is called blighted ovum, where you are pregnant and you can't see the baby. When you do a scan, you can't see a baby.
See the baby, okay.
It's just as if you've had a miscarriage.
All right.
And a lot of times, we do not know what causes that. But the ones that we know mostly are from chromosomal anomalies or genetic disorders. This baby would have been a Down syndrome baby. This baby would have had a lot of abnormalities.
Yeah.
But in God's own wisdom, He allows them to come out. So sometimes when it happens like that, we thank God and hope that it doesn't happen again. In some people, it can happen over and over.
Yeah.
So when you've had that before, try and see your doctor the moment you get pregnant.
Yeah.
There are some medications we can give to improve blood supply to the baby, and that condition can be over.
All right.
Okay.
And then you see, dear, it means that there is hope, and where there is hope, no, then you have to anamon. Na ye bibi wo ho number no na da screen so no Dr. MENYA and other good doctors are there at Fini Hospital wo mo be show number no na da no New Botiano mile 11 junction number no screenshot it kona kostra wom. There are options from eneni yesuano I say one kasa X ne wukunu sperms will be able to through procedures ene for procedures abe you'll be able to get a baby. There are different options intimate na saying kasa emubi encheche wo sorry seek the right help for yourself and for your partner. All right, Doc, just before we go, but just before we go, in like a few seconds, in terms of stigma, let's advise for those who keep asking, things that, because you deal with, it's a problem, the way they ask the questions, just, because this week is a Infertility Awareness Week, just put an advice out there for us.
Infertility is real. It's crippling a lot of relationships that would have led to beautiful marriages and wonderful societal problem-solving relationships. But they never get into the light. And because of sometimes the stigma that is attached to a woman who is not able to conceive, that stigma leads to the woman through her lifetime. You see some women have lost weight, not because they are not eating or they are sick or anything, but because in their families, you say, meanwhile, you are not getting pregnant. You are always hiding from your friends. You are a social media person, but because you cannot get pregnant, you go off social media. But advice to families, extended families, to friends especially, in a nice way, jokingly, they will tell you, oh, you need to get your woman pregnant. You need to, get pregnant as a woman and so on and so forth. These things do not help. They do not help at all because the woman will be sad, will be stressed, will go from place to place, and then that alone releases a lot of stress hormones called cortisols, corticosteroids. They also prevent ovulation. They don't allow the woman to get pregnant. So what we can rather do is to encourage our women, encourage the men. I saw one man in a consulting room blaspheming the woman in front of everybody when the woman was told that she had blocked tubes. Meanwhile, she had had an STI before, a sexually transmitted infection before, which likely she had it from the man. And her tubes are now blocked. The doctor told her she cannot get pregnant because her tubes are blocked. And the man got crazy. The man doesn't want to hear anything from the woman again. But we should be supportive, one with each other, Husbands supporting their wives, wives supporting their husbands. I know of a man too who was declared azoospermic, had no sperm, not a single sperm. And the woman was so furious that for all these years, the man had a problem and never told the woman and was threatening to leave the relationship. But as I said, it can happen to anyone. It's just like having malaria. It's just like having
it can happen to anyone.
Anything, any illness at all. But we should be supportive one of each other. Thank you very much.
Dr. Samuel MENYA, Fini Hospital, so just snapshot it and go and seek the needed help, and we should be supportive of each other.